it gave me hope that even in the Hollywood culture, the dignity and beauty and depth of motherhood cannot be ignored. Even if it has nothing to do with religion, even if it has nothing to do with being conservative or any of those things, motherhood in of itself cannot be ignored. The greatness of it. It cannot be. Hello, everyone. Normally, I don't really do just me videos. I've been doing more interviews lately just because it's enjoyable to chat with other people. And I normally don't talk about the Oscars or really care about the movies that are coming out. I definitely have not seen a single movie that got nominated this year for the Oscars, but I do sometimes watch the acceptance speeches that are given by the Best Actress winner and the Best Actor winner, basically because I think it's fascinating to watch somebody achieve something like that and see how they respond emotionally and what they have to say. Because if you think about it, these people have just achieved something that very few people in the world ever do, but that thousands strive to. So there's, so many actors and actresses out there that dream of this day of holding an Oscar and giving that speech, but very few actually ever achieve that. So I find it fascinating to watch these types of incidences when someone does achieve a really high honor that very few people receive. And again, it's not a kind of honor that I really care too much about, but I do find it intriguing to see how people respond to it. Last year, I think it was last year, the time is sort of fuzzy when you're a mom, but last year, I believe, was when the Oscars nominated this movie about basically a prostitute, and she marries this spineless Weasley guy, and then they get divorced like the next day because the spineless Weasley guy is really rich and his rich family doesn't want him married to a prostitute. And because he's spineless and Weasley, he just does whatever his mommy says and they get divorced. And they make the prostitute like this tough, I don't need anybody kind of feminist. I don't know. It's just very, it was, I didn't see the movie. I saw the trailer and then I saw the acceptance speech because that movie won Best Picture. And then the actress in that movie won Best Actress. And in her acceptance speech, she thanked a bunch of people, but then she kind of glorified prostitution. It was absolutely horrifying, really. She was like, "Thank you to all the prostitutes out there and the hard work that you do," and it was very sad. This year, however, this Oscars, I was not disappointed. I was actually moved to tears by the acceptance speech that Jessie Buckley gave, and she won Best Actress for her role in the film Hamnet, which I have also not seen and probably will never see. But that movie actually looked like it had some substance. It's about Shakespeare's life and his wife and this tragic thing that happens to them with their child. So it's about a mother's grief in a lot of ways. So it looked like a decent film, at least the substance of it. So her acceptance speech, I'm going to play for you guys because it was very moving and I think worth listening to. So check it out.
Hi, Mom, Dad, thank you for teaching us to dream and to never be defined by expectation, but to carve from your own passion. You, Fred, I love you, man. I love you. You're the most incredible dad. You're my best friend, and I want to have 20,000 more babies with you. I do. I do. And Isla, my little girl who is 8 months, who has absolutely no idea what's going on and is probably dreaming of milk. But this is kind of a big deal. And I love you and I love being your mom and I can't wait to discover life beside you. Chloe and Maggie, to get to know this incandescent woman and journey to understand the capacity of a mother's love is the greatest collision of my life. It's Mother's Day in the UK today. So I would like to dedicate this to the beautiful chaos of a mother's heart.
Okay, so one of the first things that made me tear up a little bit in this acceptance speech was watching her husband and his response to her thanking him, and how he's just like this with his hands hands over his face, and he looks like he's just about to cry. And I found that very moving, that he was that excited for his wife. And then I found it incredibly moving that she not only thanks him for being a great dad and her best friend, but she goes on to say that she wants to have 20,000 more babies with him. And this is a Hollywood actress, people. So that is pretty incredible that she would stand up at the Oscars and say something like that. And the whole movie is about motherhood and the strength of it and the depth of it and the intensity of it. And she portrays that in her role in such a way that she not only won the Oscars, she won, I think, nearly every other award that an actress can win leading up to the Oscars. Like, she just continued to receive awards for this role, which, number one, the fact that um, a mother role is being recognized, amazing, incredible. And then that she not only was recognized for that role, but that she praised motherhood in her speech, and not just motherhood, but the depth of it and the intensity of it and the vocation of it, and wanting herself. She's already a mother of an 8-month-old, and she wants to have more. She wants to have more babies. So an incredible message. And so I just wanted to take that as an opportunity to say, I do think that motherhood and all of it's one of the hardest things ever. And if you're a mother, then you know that. It literally challenges every part of who you are, and it makes you better in every way, because you have to become better in order to be good at it. You have to become less selfless, or you have to become less selfish. You have to become more patient. You have to become kinder, more loving, more giving. All the things that make a good person make a good mother. And so motherhood literally refines you and purifies you into the best version of yourself. It's not always pretty, and obviously mothers make mistakes. But in order to be a good mom, you do have to refine and purify all those parts of you that are flawed. And again, no one gets to perfection in this. But I think it is one of the few callings that actually requires you to be a good person in order to be good at it. And not just a good person, but a well-formed, a well-intentioned human being that does not think of self. And not, obviously, self-care is important. I don't mean to say that, but you don't focus on self to the detriment of the other people in your life. So you focus on self just enough to be able to pour out to the people in your life, to have the passion and the vigor and the love to pour back into your children. So she won an Oscar, and she's a mother to an 8-month-old. So, like previous Best Actress winners like Emma Stone and Michelle Williams, they basically accredited their success to their ability to have had an abortion, which is just horrific. This woman is saying, I have an 8-month-old baby. I just won an Oscar and a bunch of other awards, and I want to have 20,000 more babies, because it's not a limiting thing. It gives even more. She gets to have this beautiful success and share it with this child that she loves and this husband that she loves. So the lie that motherhood is limiting is a lie. It can be if you allow it to be, if you crumble in on yourself and don't allow your community, whoever that may be, to serve you and fill you and help you, then yes, motherhood could be limiting. But when you truly give of yourself to this calling, it fills you in so many different ways. It empties you, but it also fills you. Some of the saints that I want to mention in regards to this that did this so beautifully: Saint Gianna Beretta Molla. She's known for she basically sacrificed her own life for the life of her unborn child. She needed to have treatment while she was pregnant and refused to do so because it would have required a hysterectomy or an abortion. And so she had a different type of surgery that was more risky. She gave birth to this child, and then she eventually did end up dying because of this surgery that she chose. However, what's not talked about as much is that not only did she do this great act, she was a doctor. She had a full-time practice, and she still made time for her children, her family, and she was able to do this heroic sacrifice for her unborn child. But she was a doctor, a full-time doctor. Another mother who was extremely self-sacrificing. She's not a saint yet, but she is on her way to be one. Chiara Patrio. She was an Italian, and she also had a cancer that needed to be removed. So, removed and then treated with chemotherapy, all these things that could not be done while she was pregnant. She did not abort the child. She did not even have the child early as instructed. She carried the child for as long as she could, gave birth, and then immediately started treating that tumor. Unfortunately, it had spread. So I think a year or so after her child was born, she did end up dying. But you should see the pictures of her. You should look at the pictures of her that are literally right after she received a terminal diagnosis. She's smiling, this a luminous, contagious smile, because that's what motherhood does. It fills you up and it makes you better. So I just wanted to get on and share this with you guys because maybe you missed the Oscars. I know it's not like a big thing that Catholics sit down and watch the Oscars because so many of the people are, you know, not advocating for the same values as we are, and it's depressing, and the movies are mostly trash. Her outfit, by the way, Jessie Buckley's outfit was super lovely, super elegant, not inappropriate at all. It was really classy, which just was like icing on top of the cake of her beautiful speech. It gave me hope that even in the Hollywood culture, the dignity and beauty and depth of motherhood cannot be ignored. Even if it has nothing to do with religion, even if it has nothing to do with being conservative or any of those things, motherhood in of itself cannot be ignored. The greatness of it, it cannot be ignored. And people try. People really do try. And they succeed for years and years and years. But eventually, you're brought to the truth of the fact that it is a beautiful thing. It is a good thing. And it is not something to run from. It is something to pursue because it's not going to limit you. It will empty you of the stuff that you don't need, and it will fill you of everything that is good for you. It's a rough process sometimes, but any mother would tell you it's worth it.